Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Moin. Hello, people of the internet. Welcome to the hobby hangout. I'm suffering from acute Gerry withdrawal. Two weekends, no weekender, no ex-LBS, and no co-host. How will I cope? I don't know. Hello, Amanda. I see you. Reverse, Hazy Boy Soap, and the Wonky Goblin. Hello. And yes, no politics. I refuse politics. I substitute your reality for my own, something like that. I don't think I need a hot up to get it back. I think OTT needs to get their studio done so that he's not falling flat on his face when he comes home. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. I don't know, actually. I've talked to him last night for a short minute before I went to bed, but that's 24 hours ago, so your guess is as good as mine on where he is at. Oh, welcome, Jill. Mr. Deadly, also hello. And Jill, let me show you something. May I present to you the soup? Little tiny tyranids doing a swim. Even more tiny tyranids doing a swim. It feels wrong to strip the paint. But it's on there on some of the models. Yeah, buck soup, basically, Amanda. No, Jill, no blame for you. You're completely free of any side effects regarding soup. One thing, though, there's 3 bottles that won't fit any of my containers. The biggest culprit being this chunky boy. Yeah, I gonna have to have a think on how to soak him in an hole. Yeah, and the 3 Tyranid warriors have very long rifles, so they don't fit. No, it's not brown lemonade going wrong. That would have been terrible. But yeah, this has been a clear container until I started using it as a protective layer for scrubbing with a toothbrush. Yeah. And that's after I've rinsed it, so there came some layers of paint. Yeah, Wonky, I was thinking about getting some biostrip or something to let them sit. But then again, I thought alcohol comes in these... The isopropanol comes in plastic containers, so I might get away with an old Haribo box. I'll be putting it on the... at the outside. Will not keep it indoors. Biostrip has gone bust. Oh, that will be bad. Deadly that might be, but so far this container has held up very good, and it has been getting some IPA. So, and if it's on the outside, sitting on my porch, if the plastic starts leaking, it's literally just stones and weeds. So, alcohol with a bit of acrylic paint. No big harm done, I hope. Hello, the tails, welcome. It smells like cheap vodka. Yeah, probably. Speaking of drinking, I hope you lot have something to wet your whistle, to enjoy yourselves. We're going to have some brown beer tonight. I don't know where Mr. Gerry is, Tails. My guess is long day in the office, aka the studio, and probably now he's having a sit in the comfy chair. I don't know. Last time I checked was yesterday evening. Yeah, no news since then. So that's about it. So yeah, and because I more or less lay flat on my face over the weekend and was totally out of my mind, I didn't prepare anything. So we will have to indulge ourselves in talk and chat right after this pouring of liquid. I need to concentrate. So I hope you lot have done some hobby in the last week. Yeah, we have to chat with each other. Talk to people like it's 1999 and nobody's got a smartphone that's distracting them and all that good shit. On a sad side note, my gaming club has decided to close their forum. At least that's the last thing I heard about it. Mainly because, yeah, there's literally nothing happening. So why keep it open? I feel you, Amanda. The exhaustion, I think, at least for me, is currently more because of the weird weather. It gets almost to freezing at night, to 10 to 12 degrees Celsius over the day, and especially yesterday, we had rain, sunshine, hail, more sunshine, more rain, sunshine again, stormy winds, hail, and that all within a time period where I was at work. So every time I looked out the window, it was completely different weather. Jill had her 6-day week, so didn't get much done. Well, then you earned your hobby time, I think. Out spending your time with 5 puppers. I think that's not too bad in the grand scheme of things. I guess it's a little bit of therapeutic, I guess. um, at least it looks like it when people are covered in puppies. Not much of a dog person myself, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Great for mental health. It's just pure bliss and joy, and nobody's asking why. They're just happy to see you, wagging their little tails, going completely mental. Spring cleaning challenge. Still haven't decided on where to go. I'd probably be taking a stab at the Brock again. Maybe, maybe not. Um, have you lot chosen any projects, or are you still looking through your pile of potential and opportunities on what to do and what potentially not to do? If you're anything like me, you've got a lot of things to choose from. Hello, Mr. Kebab. Cheers. Red Tails, Spring Clean Challenge is a little challenge over at ontabletop.com where you can just pluck away at any of your hobbies, make a project, and if you're lucky, you'll earn a voucher for Wayland Games to spend on hobby supplies and stuff. More details over on tabletop.com or beastofwar.com. Both work. Wonky Goblin is on details with his playtest boards. I don't think that counts as spring clean challenge, as that's an ongoing project and a completely new thing. But since I'm not a member of the team, I'm just speaking what I want. They could just do and count it, or just, yeah. I never actually understood how the process works in the backstage. Oh, the Dungeonalia projects. Oh, oh God, they've been a memory. Crispin, hello, good friend. How is the world on the other end of the monitor? Now, Red Tails, you don't need to be a member of the team. And I sure am not, especially not when I'm not getting paid. Ewok Kebab is starting his pulp miniatures. Those weird FDM printed thingies. Gas prices are always high. Don't ask what we pay per gallon, because we don't pay per gallon. We go further down. And you being alive is a good message. Stay strong. Watch a movie. Oh, so the print layer line miniatures are steampunk. I couldn't tell the difference. So, this might be a bit of a no. We start with a different thing. Last time I was painting stuff on stream, and let me show you. My painting palette is almost clean. Only thing left to paint is now the Fallout hero crew, and then I can choose new stuff and prep and build and prime. And there's a whole world for me to explore. A whole big grey mountain of plastic to, well. Angelo got prodded to go back to New Epic. Yes, the spamster is done. Where did I put him? Hold on. Giant space hamster. You won't be seeing much. Yeah, painting queue is ready to be painted. Hold on a sec. I will put in a link of pictures for you to enjoy. Maybe now, maybe later. Show, copy, paste, go here. Yes, he does go for the eyes, and no, he hasn't got a name yet. You might vote on a name for him if you wish. And speaking of painting big chunky miniatures, congrats, well done to who did win the painting project this week? Last month. Let me have a quick look. Zoidpinhead, yes. And the new keyword is weird. And I have zero clue on what to do for the weird. What even does fit the description of weird? It has to be Boo. Boo the giant space hamster. Well, if the audience demands it. Where's my Do another space. Nah. So here's the space hamster. Here's my pen. And now he's christened Boo. Hope you're happy. Anything Lovecraft would fit. I was going to say I don't have anything that could be used as Lovecraftian. But then I remembered, oh no, they went into the closet. I still have ample amounts of Frostgravy sprues, including cultists. So there could be something in the works. Still, I need some inspiration. Maybe most things are too weird for me. No, I never played Baldur's Gate, so so if it's an actual character that was named Boo, fine. Have your way. I'm completely clueless, in case you haven't noticed yet. I'm very easily distracted and can be what you call it, be lured into weird situations. He belongs to a ranger called Minsk, and you cannot remove him from his inventory in game. Oh, so in that regard, he's almost like the hamster from Maniac Mansion. In case some of you remember that. Don't put the hamster in the microwave. Wonky Goblin sculptor friend is doing elves. Expected more goblins, but elves are very cool. I don't think elves are very cool. They're spindly and thin and can break easily. Oh, speaking of breaking easily, I still need to come up with another playlist for Thursday when we play another round of 40k 3rd edition and see how I can stop his dog Eldar. And that was where I was going before. So 40k 11th edition is around the corner, and I'm not sure if they're selling the game well. It doesn't seem like it's creating much hype? Question mark. I mean, I'm not the target audience for that game, really not. But it doesn't feel like it's going through the media. Not sure if it's going to be better than 10th, and I mean, on the plus side, they said they would keep the codices, so no new books, so more a 10.5 ish? Question mark. Yeah, so do I, Red Tails. Hello, Zorg, welcome. It's just. It seems too much bookkeeping in that game. And that's coming from someone who's playing Battletech with classic rules and cheats with little dots. Amanda only focuses on 7th and 2nd edition. Well, that's a range. I don't think I could focus 2nd edition. No, can't. I only have the Orc Codex for 2nd edition, not the complete rulebook. So That might be an investment in future me. But what did happen now is that they've seemingly dropped the Primaris name prefix, and now they're just Space Marines. And I think that's what I said way back when they introduced Primaris Space Marines, that in time X, when Space Marines are normalized as being 32 millimeters, then classic Space Marines will just go the way of the dodo, and Primaris will be the new normal. I would love to have the second edition books, Amanda, but I do get where that it's easier to acquire them by other means. Well, Amanda, you say they will be never the new normal, but when Games Workshop stops selling the old kits and puts in the old helmet on the Primaris kits, well, it's gonna be Space Marine either way. It's the poster child. I mean, technically, the founding chapters are all but gone anyway, if I remember correctly, because they've been decimated so much, so whatever. And it's a fucking game of make-believe, so if you want to play with second edition miniatures, I'm all for it. Though that must be looking very funny if you have two armies clashing, one is playing the current edition of miniatures and the other one is using second edition miniatures. Or be like, oh, hello, big brother. Games Workshop doesn't use more paper now because there won't be new rulebooks. Just there's a rulebook, no new codices for the foreseeable future. And to be honest, I'd be pretty. I wouldn't be surprised if Games Workshop at one point says, "Yeah, books only come as digital DRM stuff within our app." No, Mr. Wonky Goblin, my tasty little metal will stay with me. Oh, speaking of metal, Jill, those two little blocks of metal. Jeez, they're heavy. You can kill someone with that. You don't even need a sock. Yeah, I guess you're right there, Amanda. Second edition Space Marines are about yay size. And these are the Primaris. It's just silly. Yeah, I guess um, Warhammer. Should we even still call it Games Workshop? Since they've rebranded everything being called Warhammer now. But nevertheless, yeah, I think having documents digitally with a proprietary DRM system will be the way to go for Games Workshop, I guess. That being said, that's just another challenge for some nerd to crack open Pandora's box. And if history has shown anything in regards to Games Workshop, that they will half-ass it, and somebody will just suck all the data. On that note, you're correct, Manda, technically, which is the best kind of correct. It's Imperial Guard, it's Eldar, it's Dark Eldar, it's Orcs, and nothing else. I mean, technically, I had that game with my friend with my 3rd edition Space Marines against his 7th, 8th edition chunky boy Plague Marines. That did look a bit silly, but more not really for the height of the miniatures, but more for the enormous difference in between base sizes. Yeah, Wonky, you might be onto something. Warhammer presents Games Workshop Classic Citadel Paints. Only period correct with this cheap synthetic brush. I mean, you gotta hand it to them. They know how to squeeze blood from a stone. They really do. It'll be paints made to order under the Citadel brand. And somewhere in a warehouse, some poor sort will be opening Warhammer paint pots and decant them into whatever. Or just change labels. There's so much weird stuff going on in the miniature hobby. Games Workshop forcing out a new edition that I guess nobody really called for. A bazillion games that's on the market fighting for attention. A new edition of Legion, a new edition of Fallout. StarCraft, for whatever that will be in the future. No, Brett, I don't think that's true. If the system was working, they would be happy with just getting new minis. New boxes, yes. New rules? No, I don't think so. New edition isn't really necessary to keep people in a game loop. You just need fresh units that fit in the universe. Replace fanboys with board of directors. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Wonky, you're talking about these pots, probably. Yeah, they're still fine and dandy, and they last a long, long time, especially if you're a slow painter like I am. So yeah, 40k new box. Not too horribly exciting, I think. Uh, the trailer was okay. It's a CGI trailer. Why does a miniatures game need a CGI trailer? Is beyond me. I mean, seriously, back in the day, you had kids playing with the toys being shown on the screen, having fun with the toys, and that was the incentive to get yourself playing with the toys. You know, you had to use your imagination to make it all go boom. Why the fuck do we need a CGI trailer for a miniatures game? Oh, funny you would say that, Manda. If you rewatch that release trailer for 11th edition, I'm almost certain, I haven't double checked, but I'm almost certain that at one point there's a sergeant that's screaming, and that's the exact scream they took from the Dawn of War 1 trailer. But I'm not 100% sure, but it seemed like very much somebody took that sound file and ran it through an upscaler or something. I mean, I was happy to see a weird boy in the trailer. They made 6 awful movies to promote Star Wars Crisis Fire Sale. To be fair, the movies were way earlier than Crisis Protocol Star Wars Edition. And yes, this second edition artwork, I'm, I'm not sure if it's just me or if anybody else can relate, but the forced transition from one box art to the other, yeah, it's a similar design, but it's not sparking anything. It's literally a grim dark pile of dudes standing around shooting, and the other one is a bright yellow and red and screaming picture. It's just they're not the same, not in the slightest. And the fact that they had prepared an animation showing it going back and forth between both versions for more than a minute doesn't infuse confidence in the work, I feel. I'm not sure if it's too busy. It's just there's only one clearly visible miniature, and that's the red space marine in the middle, and the rest is just a wash. There's nothing to focus on. But be that as it may, I'm not the target audience for that game, and I'm pretty sure the price will be silly. I'm convinced it'll be more than I would be willing to spend on some plastic orcs and marines that don't really look like I want them to. What do I think of StarCraft? The weird thing is, I love StarCraft as a video game, but I can't see it work as a miniatures game. I just can't. Um, and there's multiple reasons on that. One is there's just not enough variety of units in it to sustain a long life cycle of the game. There's they with the first wave they almost have produced any miniature that would be possible. Plus, the game lacks the base building, as far as I can tell. I would like to like it, but on the other hand, it's just mm, it's technically the game. I'm not sure about the game mechanics. Maybe the rules are really good. I haven't played it, so I can't tell you. I was part of the late beta test group, but the rules were so convoluted in an unlayouted form that I couldn't really get my head around it. So I'm not sure if the gaming mechanic maybe is sound and fun, but I just can't see a long life cycle of that game. It would have been better as a board game? Question mark? Who knows? Speaking of, wasn't there already a StarCraft board game? I think there was at some point 15 years ago or so by probably even Fantasy Flight. Yeah, York, having StarCraft in an epic scale would have been probably better just for base building and stuff. 10 years of units planned for StarCraft. What? At that point, there must be something coming out that's not in the video game. There's just no way they are going 10 years with what's on the table right now and what's left in the game. There must be more. And yes, the pricing discussion was a different one. Um, Novels and comics. Oh, see, though, that's something that's completely missing from my perspective. I know the video games, full stop. Um, so yeah, there might be more, like an expanded universe, but that's new to me then. In that case, um, coming back to the um, to that pricing structure, there's a Canadian miniature shop. Lord of Wargaming or something. I forget the name. Sorry, but they've talked about it and they weren't happy with the pricing. Lords of Wargames and Hobbies. Yeah, that's the one. They weren't happy about how Archon Studios treated pricing for retailers and with all the um, uh, what's it called? With the savings for early adopters. So I'm not sure if that is going to really have a long life or will just fall flat on its face and be in sale boxes at the end of the year. Well, but we'll have to wait and see. And possibly Archon Studios didn't have much say in regards of pricing because we mustn't forget it's a video game IP owned by Blizzard. Blizzard is a greedy company. They're potentially just asking for too much money, and maybe Archon just got the short end of the deal. RTS on the table sounds like an 8-hour game. Well, yeah, probably, depending on what scale you're playing. Um, that being said, there's nothing wrong potentially with having a game lasting for 8 hours if you got the spare time. I'm still trying to figure out how to have an afternoon and an evening off to have a longer game with my friend instead of just 2.5 hour chunks. But yeah, the undercutting of retailers is really no good move. You can't. You need the retailer as a point of distribution, as a multiplier of interest. And if they don't stock your product because they're not making a dime of it, what's the point? Uh, and on that level, you could just could stay with shop direct and nothing else. Because if you sell something through a shop and a store that's not yours, people on the way want to earn money too. That's how business works. Oh, Wonky Goblin does his game with everything. Spore collecting. Oh, and you mentioned Adepticon, Red Tails. Has anybody seen any or watched any coverage of Adepticon of you lot? I tried to have an eye on it, but yeah, as I said, the weekend is a blur and I didn't really get to read anything. I tried to catch up on the Star Wars Legion stuff by Atomic Earth Games, but their homepage was just crapping itself and not loading anything, so I'll have to revisit that tomorrow or next day. Hello, Zoidpinhead, welcome. We had been mentioning you earlier on. Red Tails, if you have a playlist, feel free to put it in the description. I will add it to the video description later on. Yeah, Mandalorian Battle Force, I've seen various stuff for the Galactic Republic and Separatists, but not much in the way of Rebels and Empire apart from Mud Troopers and all-weather Stormtroopers. Holy ridiculous Games Workshop tanks that are just World War II tanks with skulls on it. Oh, you're referring to the to that weird truck Sonderfahrzeug with chains? Ah, I see. Thank you, Tails. I'll just have to. No, don't be worried. You set your priorities how you want. And yes, Amanda, the plow one did actually make me giggle. I didn't see it initially, but when that picture cropped up, I had a giggle. And no, Redverse, they're actually stormtroopers with a cape. That's all. I'm not sure where the reason in that is. I would have loved if they had taken the Admiral Thrawn stormtroopers with all the gold trimmings that they have released for Shatterpoint as some kind of unit for Legion. That I would have liked. That would have been something very nice. Oh, and they are planning to introduce flyers. They only confirmed X-Wing so far. If they are doing scale correct models for that, it is going to be interesting price wise. But I guess, yeah, there's going to be a market for that. And if the rebels get the X-wing, I'm pretty sure we can safely say Empire will get either a bomber or TIE fighter. Scale correct Legion Star Destroyer. I think you would be a bit short on space for that one. No, Wonky, not flying stormtroopers, not something with jetpacks like the Mandalorians. Really flyer support. I mean, I did the math way early in the life cycle of Star Wars Legion to see how big the Millennium Falcon would be, and if you make a Millennium Falcon in 28mm scale. It's almost as big as the gaming table, so yeah. And yes, Jill, you're correct. These cash cows don't milk themselves. But let's face it, it's a game for fans. If you want it, you're going to get it. Just get a bigger gaming table. I mean, as long as if they really use scale appropriate models for depicting flight support or fighter support, I'm just hoping Revell doesn't stop selling their kit. Because the Snowspeeder is way cheaper and the X-Wing will probably be too. Some people are buying very large dinosaurs. Are you referring to some keyboard potentially? Halo Recon Edition from Mantic to play as a skirmish game. Well, that's nice. Oh, and speaking of large dinosaurs, and coming back to having a little go at Games Workshop, what are your thoughts on the mechanized gun tower for Age of Sigmar? I mean, the fuck? Why? Well, what? I get if you want mobile artillery, but having a mechanical four-legged thingamajig transporting a tower, it's just so silly. Yeah, wonky. That's my. It's like somebody had a design plan for 40k and they just plonked a tower on it. I think it wouldn't have been that bad if it had been, let's say, two giants carrying the tower like some kind of mobile, semi-mobile thing, or a beast that would have been under there, like a giant squeak or a dinosaur or a turtle, for all I care. Imagine a giant turtle on your table crawling around with a big tower on top. That would have seen work in the game, but this mechanical abomination is just why? I mean, they did giant creatures with things on top of that for orcs in 40k. So why not in Age of Sigmar? Oh, the tower itself is not looking bad. It could have been a terrain piece for all I care. But having this mechanical quadruple thingamajig down below is just. Where's the fantasy in that? We are so close in to territory for sci-fi at that point. There's basically no difference. I mean, technically, if you would just strip some of the crenulations and details, I think you could just put it in 40k as either a chaos engine or an orc contraption. That would have get mixed up with the giant turtles there for the fish elves. It's basically the Sigma walking tower in the game. So there's let me see what's that. Oh, yeah. Castle on wheels. Yeah, that's basically. Yep. Looks like it. All what was the movie called again with the immortal machines? where all the cities just go on wheels and go brrr. How much is a 28mm century shipped in these days? Couldn't tell you. I wouldn't even know where to look. Mortal Engines. I guess as much. That's a book series, but I only know the movie, and I enjoyed it. It's silly popcorn. I mean, the game Amanda Link basically looks like Man of War, but on land with castles. My elven high castle is going to fire all its archers at your little orky ship. If Gerry were here, I bet he could tell you where to find a MDF ship, but I can't really. John Cleese in the Mantower. I fart in your general direction. Oh, see, now there's a thought. 4 elephants and put that on a turtle and then a tower on top. Now we're talking. Wonky, you do know there's a pirate ship with wheels and orcs and a freebooter crew. It's not by Games Workshop, but it exists. It's a thing. And I'm pretty sure you've seen it. You haven't? Oh, let me just quickly look if I can find it. I'm pretty sure. Yes, that's where we put our flat planet. Our internet is horribly slow today. That might take a minute. No, not 3D printed. I'm not sure if it was resin or... I can't find it right now. Hold on a sec. I'm pretty sure it was by Cromlech / Bits of War. Yep. Orc Corsair Battle Rig. And yes, it is a beast. Let's put this here and there, and we shall have a gander at it together if I can manage to handle all the navigation. Hold on a sec. I think this is the correct one. Yes. So, yeah. There's your orc battleship. 27 centimeters long, 21 high. But it's a lovely piece of kit. Though it's $200. Yeah. When I win the lottery, I won't tell anybody, but there will be signs. Cromlech do some really interesting pieces in resin for the Green Horde and MDF. Yeah, I guess that's probably the valid option there, Wonky. Plus, if you just grab yourself a cheap toy and some plywood, I get. I'm guessing you'll be at a fifth of the weight. That thing must weigh a ton, but it looks awesome. You think? It might be. I'm not sure. Let me double check again. I don't think there's parts shown. Usually, Chrome Lake is very good with. Oh yeah, it's actually just flat parts. So it is hollow. Well, I say flat parts, but rather smallish, two-dimensional parts. Still, resin, even if the sides are just about 4 or 5 millimeters thick, will be a very heavy beast. it's it's a nice little thing. Maybe, and this is just between you and me. Maybe you can use the detail picture they have provided on what parts they use as a reference for your own design. Just saying. Get a Rebel Viking ship to convert that some Viking orcs. Yeah, that's probably even easier to do than a toy ship, because those tend to be of thicker plastic than the model scale ship. Cheers! Don't forget to drink. Hydrate. So, what is left on the table news-wise? Have I forgot anything important? Potentially. But who could blame? My old brain. Oh, of course. How could I forget those? The the Gale Force 9 Galactic War Zone Rebel Outpost terrain. Totally not Echo Base. I mean, yeah. You can go so far with stuff looking like the original stuff, but I feel one or two designs might be a bit too close to the sun, and the mouse might not like that. A new supplement for Midgard is up for pre-order. What's it with pre-orders? I hate it. I hate pre-orders. Why can't people be just happy when stuff gets in shops? It just feels so buy now or never. Get a footballer painted grey. Yeah, I'm not sure if football is keeping its form if you cut it. That's a very bleak view on the world, Jill, but I'm afraid you're right to a degree. Money does corrupt in the end. Let's see. Ben did write up such many nice things, but there's so little that really piqued my interest. And but speaking of Mr. Ben, I have noticed nobody's joining his forums as well as mine, just to mention that. But he's doing an awful lot of work also on his channel. He's putting out videos on a quite regular basis. Sadly, on topics that I really don't have a much interest in, but hmm. Yeah. Makes you wonder how he can join work and his own channel. Is there a competitive clause? Yeah, if you're into Age of Sigma, I'm guessing you're golden with ban, and also if you're on the various other systems he's promoting. But so far, none of them have piqued my interest. So I feel that the shitting on part has been getting way better in the past few years, especially since, and that's not to discredit anybody else. I feel that the shows are run by Ben and Gerry, and yeah, they take turns in showing hobby, and then there's the occasional Shay, John, or Justin. I'm really hoping that there will be a new episode for the weekend next week, because let's face it, Easter weekend will be not much. I don't think there was much last year on Easter, so I'm I am a bit afraid that this is more or less a uh yeah, we're not coming back. And I'm really a bit worried in that regard. Oh, and Jeebus, where's my head? Just in case you are tuning in right now and listening to this video or watching this video in any kind of fashion, Mr. Warren, get well soon. You shouldn't have scrambled your knee. Why did you do that? And I think that's crossed many people's minds, because it's just a very sudden, yeah, no weekend this week, no weekend the next week. Then there's Easter, then there's Salute, and maybe by the time those 4 weeks have gone, you may have forgotten us. I would hate that. I would hate that big time. XLBS is part of my Sunday morning routine. When I sit here in this very chair with my coffee and listen to the guys waffle about stuff they've been doing. The only interesting thing that comes from not having an XLBS is we don't know in advance who's winning gold buttons, and is announced on Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. So last week's winners came out of the blue. Oh, and speaking of winners, have you checked claim your prize section on tabletop? Just don't forget to do that. There might be stuff to grab. Oh, and if anybody has any ideas on how to properly reattach flying bases to Tyranid flyers, I'm open for suggestions. Some of them broke off, some of the flyer knits need to be completely reassembled. Yeah, Jill, but you need to comment on videos to get stuff, and I never see your comment. But then again, I don't read comments on other people's videos for the most time, because that's where the sadness lies. I think I need to get some sturdy metal rods. Oh, speaking of, didn't I? Hang on. Hmm. Oh, that's almost too thick. Yeah, that's not working. I am rude for not reading other people's comments under videos that are not mine. How's that? It's how I keep my sanity. Yeah, but since the previous owner has coated the whole base in black, I don't think I need actual acrylic rod. I just want to connect the existing rod with the miniature. Oh, sorry, Jill. I didn't mean to. Apologies. Um, Come to think of it, Amanda, you just gave me an idea. I think I could get away with cutting the actual rod in this piece and then just use the copper wiring as a stand. Hmm. Yeah, but that will have to wait until I've finished cleaning them and reassembled them. Uh, as I've mentioned on other places before, there's a lot of CA glue that needs to be removed, and even some, I think it's green stuff. Could be something different that just happens to be green, but there's some weird glue going on in that model or in those models. Uh, to be fair, my first metal models didn't look better. Not in the slightest. If they even held together for a moment or two. I do remember my struggles from the first metal models to get them to stick with cheap CA glue, and it just wouldn't. It just, no, plonk, off you go. And at some point, I resorted to violence, aka a drill, some metal rods, and more glue than you can imagine. Well, if I only could blame childhood, but I was about 22 at the point. If they're metal, just give them an acetone bath. Both paint and glue will come off. Well, paint is already almost off, and yes, most parts are metal. Sadly, not for the large turret one. There's plastic arms, and they have some kind of stuff that I need scraping off. Uh, when push comes to shove, I will use my notch Dremel and just go with a drill bit and or a sanding bit and just scrape it off. It's it's mostly in these ball socket joints where stuff is sitting in, and so yeah. Yes, I know that acetone will melt the plastic, since that's why I won't be using it on those parts. But the body and the legs are metal. I might. Why do I remember this now and not earlier? I would have liked to break all the metal parts in their original shape. I should have put them in the freezer before trying to remove the paint. That would have saved me a lot of space in the bottles. Well, yeah. Still can do that after the fact, and then use scraping tools to remove the remaining bits that are annoying and stuff. And yeah, that's going to be a process on its own. I was contemplating about making a video about it, but no, no. I will I will use the power of photography to document that process, but I will not be doing a video on it. I think I can't be asked, to be honest. That's a very good question, Mr. Tails. I don't know. I'm guessing he's good. He seemed to be of high spirits yesterday, but that's always hard to tell if you're just communicating via text. So your guess is as good as mine. I'm hoping he's well, and if not, I hope he's going to be well soon enough. But I'm guessing he's fine. He isn't the type of person who seems to be down for a long time. At least that's my impression of him. Your mileage may vary. No, not high spirits as in drunk, but just being of a good mood, sharing a funny video. In fact, a funny music video from a German metal band about online trolls. Where is it? Copy. For you to watch later or now. I'm not your mom. Thanks very much, Retails. And yeah, I think he's a genuine nice guy. Maybe a bit rough sometimes, and the humor a bit too dark in places, but nobody's perfect, so we will forgive him. It's hay fever season again. I hate it. Looking at time and level of liquids, I say we have about 10 more minutes and then I will cut the stream. So if any of you have still something to put forward to the community or poke my mind on weird questions you might have on anything subject, be free to go ahead and ask. Or tell chat and I will giggle if it's a funny question. And I will be embarrassed if it's not a funny question. Oh, speaking of funny, I hope that Mr. Bowes Mel is coming back sooner or later and is getting used to his new dentures. I hope he's on an upward slope now. No, he hasn't disappeared again. If you remember, he took a time off and did an off-camera video because he had dental work done. And about a week or so, he did a video in the studio with his new dentures and was trying to speak and just had himself a giggle that he's barely audible when he's talking with his dentures in. So he basically now has to learn how to speak with new teeth, and that made him giggle. And he made a video about it, and I feel that's a good sign. If he can laugh at himself, that's good. I feel personally. Yeah, I can see that he's happy when that's over. That dental work is a nightmare at the best of times. Is Archon StarCraft sustainable for Archon? I doubt it, unless they have got a really good deal on it with Blizzard. But I don't think so. But I have no insights in that company, so I don't know what money they make off any of the kits. You could understand them quite well. Well, that's probably because you're Dutch. No offense, but uh, you seem to have a knack for uh, weird dialects because I couldn't understand a word he was saying when having his dentures in. Has there been news from Adepticon that anyone should care about? Your guess is as good as mine. Uh, I'm guessing since there has been zero uproar or anything or loud shouty yay screams, probably not. I don't know. I think the quote unquote biggest news was the reveal of 11th edition. And the funniest bit about that presentation was the bracket, please act surprised bracket. Wait, yeah, okay, so they have some kind of self-deprecating humor, but yeah, that's about the high point of the presentation. We know that you know, and you know that we know that you know. So here it is, huzzah! It'll be more interesting once we know price points of everything they've put out there, and that's not just Games Workshop slash Warhammer. That's for everything that has been teased for the coming months and years for Legion, for BattleTech, for Warhammer, for Age of Sigmar, for Old World, what have you. I I do get why people want to know really, really early in a product life cycle what's still coming, but I also would like to know how much stuff will cost me. And that's an information they keep secret for a very long time, which is annoying because I can't plan my hobby spending. Maybe I should start a fundraiser and every money that goes in there is going to be spent on hobby product that is not Games Workshop. And an important announcement for BattleTech at this year's Adepticon. Uh, well, what is it? Red Tails, please do let us know. I mean, I've seen that Atomic Mass, not Atomic Mass Games, Countless Game Labs have been streaming 3 days straight. But what was the big announcement? That somehow went past me. Oh, and speaking of John and Cash Grab, Gundam. The Gundam board game, miniatures game, is set about June, I think. Oh, you don't know as well. Oh, okay. Well, then I have to look into your playlist and see if I can find anything about BattleTech. If there's anything. And this is not just a red herring. Jill, to be honest, I would actually applaud them for that. Any company, if any company would go out and say, yeah, we can't we can't financially be responsible and send stuff beyond these borders because of reasons. Yeah, that's totally. I would be so on board with that. It would be a shame, but yeah. I mean, seriously, have you looked at shipping prices? Yeah, but 3D printing will solve all our problems in the future. Oh god, my face hurts. Yeah, not just from, also to the US. So there's just, it's bananas, and it's not getting better anytime soon. I'm guessing, but yeah, the world will be ending sometime in the far far future of the whenever the sun goes boom. Once I can 3D print in computer in great detail, it may solve the problem. Yeah, that's when we have 3D printers that are on the same quickness and level of a normal 2D printer, paper printer, and just go done. Yeah, at that point, I think there will be a great shift. But currently, nah. Oh, good evening, Mr. Nick Craig Palmer. Hello. You're very late to the party. In fact, you're so late, I was just about to close shop. But since you're here, have you gotten any news that you want to share with the world? Have you any insights on news from Adapticon or what's the ChillCon? Was it ChillCon this weekend? I think I might have seen some reports on a convention of sorts. Yes, the live broadcast from Games Workshop was flawless. Absolutely. No audio issues whatsoever. None. Uh, and totally no technical difficulties. None at all. Yeah, I think they had better streams in the past, I think. Um, well, technically, it's the same as being at the show when stuff is being announced. You're hearing it first. That's the whole deal of it. You want to be in and be the first one to hear that this is the new shit. If it's available right now, that's really interesting. If it's available in 6 months, why do I care? I think the broadcast is more or less uh, the biggest information pool for sites like OTT and other news aggregators to have something to put on their web pages and not reading a newsletter. So sit there in the middle of the night in our time zone, watch that horrible stream, do a write up, post it, and be off to bed. But that's just my guess. To be fair, whenever Atomic Mouse Games does their what's it called, mini extravaganza, I do like to watch that because it's interesting to see people talk about the product they're making. But other than Games Workshop, that's actually the people making the product and not just some presenter talking about it. If Games Workshop would put out the creators of the miniatures or the rules writers. Yeah, I see your point, Nick. And since the 11th edition will keep the codices, I'm tending to refer to it as 10.5. Because if the codices doesn't change, the core mechanics can't be that much different. And just swapping your round circle terrain thingamajig as a goal for any other weird terrain piece. And yes, but the miniatures will be where it's at. And personally, I'm most interested to see how they will be making the miniatures. The box set miniatures probably will be push fit, but everything besides those, how will they work? Will they be proper minis you can pose, or will they be just monopose crap? Who knows? I guess we will see in about time. When's UK Games Expo? I was under the impression it's late summer, but I might be wrong with that. They will have clip-out beards. Yeah, that's right. Announcer number one, announcer number two, and they get some kind of mask. May. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens in May and June and what leaks there will be before that, if any. But we know at least one squig will be in the box. Wah, very funny. Yeah. Nick will be there with bells on, and I'm guessing some weird contraptions of miniatures. So, yeah, as I've said 50 minutes ago, we're running on fumes, and this old man needs his beauty sleep. Uh, I hope to see. Well, yeah, next week. The Tuesday is a ordinary work day, so enjoy your Easter. Grab some lovely chocolate. Have a nice, relaxed time. Keep the fingers crossed that there will be a weekender sometime in the future. And enjoy your hobby. And if you got any weird questions, send them to me on a postcard. If you can find my address. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. See you next week.